I've gotten to love these kinds of questions about from anti-nuclear individuals. It's kind of, they remind me of asking somebody the question, do you still beat your children or do you still beat your wife, right? You can't answer that other than say that assumes something that's not true. And these questions that you get from these anti-nuclear people do the same thing. They assume something that's not true when they ask would you have a nuclear waste repository in your backyard, or would you put the waste in your basement? You're assuming something that's not true. And what the assumption is that it's got infinite risk. And it doesn't have infinite risk. You can mitigate the risk. You can shield it. We know how to shield this stuff. It's actually not that difficult to do shielding. And so when you assume that it's got infinite risk, you ask these questions, right? Would you have this in your backyard? When the truth is, I wouldn't even want a sanitary landfill in my backyard, but I probably would want a nuclear waste repository in my backyard because I used to work at one. I know they're clean, they're amazing, they give great jobs. But that's beside the point. You're still assuming something that's not true when you ask these questions, like why do you need Yucca Mountain? Why do you have waste? Well, everything has waste, but it's not infinite risk. And you're assuming something to be true when it's not true. There is really no such thing as infinite risk. You might say, well, if the sun goes supernova, that's infinite risk. Technically, no, because yes, that would destroy all life on Earth. But the probability is low, and risk is probability times consequence. So even that doesn't have infinite risk. There really isn't any such thing, but it's easy to convince yourself that nuclear energy gives infinite risk, and it flat out doesn't. It's probably the lowest risk for energy sources that we have, the most sustainable, most environmentally friendly, and the safest.